Hi team. We don't know each other because this is the first and only video on my channel. So by way of introduction, my name's Nancy. I like to draw. This is my most recently finished sketchbook, and today the goal of the video is to probably do a sketchbook flip through. I've been watching a lot of those on YouTube recently. The most recent one was Drawing with Waffles' one, which she uploaded the other day. Fun time. And I like doing little sketchbook flip throughs on both my Instagram and Twitter, which you can find at St. Ansign. But I do little sped up ones that will fit the time limits of the platforms. And also Twitter destroys my quality, so you can never actually see the drawings properly. So I thought it'd be fun to actually do a proper video with my sketchbook. This is the most recently completed sketchbook. It's different to all my other sketchbooks because it has art on the front. This is one I got from Lana J at Smash last year, probably last year. The date will be on the inside. So normally I buy these black sketchbooks and I cover them in stickers. It's always a fun time. I like to decorate them with whatever my interests are at the time. This one actually has a sticker with my logo on it just because I was testing some things out. But yeah, here it is. With my sketchbooks, other than covering them with stickers, on the spines I like to put a little quote. So this one is Every Night. It's from the Foxhole Court. I could go on for 30 minutes about why I love this quote and why it's significant, but it is like a pivotal quote in the second book. It's a good time. I like to put it on there because it just reminds me of something that inspires me and that I like. My past ones have also been on that kind of way. This one says Hurricane. It's based off of the song from Hamilton. And I wanted it to represent that this book would be like a pivotal part for my art progress. I'm not sure if it was, but the intention was there. My other one says this. I was going to pronounce it, but then I didn't want to pronounce it poorly. Basically, it roughly translates to Until Death It Is All Life. At the point where I was working on this sketchbook, I was very obsessed with that quote, and so it just ended up on the spine. So yeah, that's how I like to set up my sketchbooks. This one is an anomaly because it has artwork on the front, but everything else is the same. On the inside, on the other ones it's on the outside, but on the inside, I always date when I start the sketchbook. So this one was started on the 16th of July in 2019, which is when I bought the sketchbook, and I finally managed to finish it on 20th of May this year. So I always have sketchbook goals. This one has develop your own style. So I think I did develop my style more with this sketchbook, but not through drawing more cartoon faces or drawing more full body poses, because I kind of skimped out on that one, but that's fine. And then this is consistent in all my sketchbooks, practice hands, and I can probably prove that. Here's the inside of the first sketchbooks that I finished in one of these ways. Hands as a goal of things to practice. And then the second sketchbook, right up the top, hands. So hands are a consistent thing. I don't think you ever become good at hands, or at least you never feel like you're good at hands, but oh well. So anyway, this is the front cover. I doodled a lot of hands, so to get a head start on the goal, but I think that's the last bit of hands that I've done, so whoops. So here on this first page is a mini print from Lana J's Patreon club. I was in it for a while, and this was a companion piece to a bigger oracle-like print. So I don't know, I just really like the quote, your future is your own. I like the vibes of it, and it went into my sketchbook as like a little bit of an inspiration, along with She-Ra stickers. So I've got Katra, Adora, and Glimmer, which also, I don't know, I felt like their characters and their arcs really fit the your future is your own kind of quote as well. I thought that was super meta, but maybe that's just me thinking too hard about things. This is a thumbnail I did for a mural that I actually have on my wall. And this was like a first planning page for it. It was, I don't know, I didn't expect it to turn out as well as it did, but yeah, so that's the thumbnail for that. I always do like a mini version of bigger pieces because that way you can kind of see how everything's going to come together. You can see where the colors work. I did not stick to these colors, but that's how you know, that's how you plan, that's how you try things. This is just a little pose that I did that was meant to test markers. I got some Ohuhu markers this year, and I also got some Copics, and I just wanted to test them out, see how I liked using them. Love using them, spoiler alert, they're good. And this little note here just says line art too stiff, need to fix. I have a problem with line art and lining things when I do poses. They always end up looking super stiff, and I'm not quite sure why. I think it's because the lines they don't seem to have a flow to them. I'm working on it. Maybe one day I'll get better at it, we'll see. This is Katra from She-Ra, and it's from, to avoid spoilers, an episode that was quite pivotal, especially in her character arc, and it just says your fault. If you've watched it, you know. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's good. It's a good show. Please support it. Here's some poses. It was more pose practice that I was doing. I was really sticking to this goal at the beginning. Good for me. But I turned them into Katra and Adora because I was really into drawing some fan art for them. So it's just a bunch of pose references. I like to do these a lot. They're fun and they're good for form. Here's just some holly that I was drawing. I was planning out a card for a friend. This is just a portrait I did based on someone I saw on Pinterest. I like to do these a lot. I like drawing portraits. That's probably what I'm best at. And that's probably why I don't do a lot of poses and like full body shots, because I feel like I have the most fun doing portraits and the kinds of colors you can do and the expressions you can convey. So that's just that. This is... I had so many ambitions here. This was the Inktober 2019 prompt list. I tried so very hard to stick to it. You can see that I only got to day 5. That's what those sticks mean. And I tried to have it so that I would just like put down all the prompts, have little things that I could draw, that I could possibly do with it, so that I'd actually be inspired to do the work. And as you'll see through the progression of the sketchbook, that doesn't happen. And I had such good intentions. I tried so hard. I think it's because the prompts never really resonate with me and I never feel as inspired by them. I think this year I'm going to try some other prompts and just see how I go with it. I'll probably do it weekly rather than daily because I lead a busy life. So there's that. This is what I think Vaporeon would look like as a person. Basically, Pokemon is very near and dear to my heart. I have loved it since I was a child. I didn't have a DS or a Game Boy or anything as a kid, so I used to get it on a USB with the Game Boy emulator in the game from the boys in my class, and that's how I used to play it, but I absolutely adored it. Adored the original series. The episode with Charmander broke my heart as a child, but in relation to this drawing specifically, my favorite group of Pokemon are probably the Evolutions. I don't know why, I've loved them since I was a kid. I've loved the designs, I've loved the colors, and so in that episode where Ash meets those brothers with the evolved Eevees and the one brother who didn't want to evolve his Eevee, and it was a whole thing. That episode sticks in my mind for some reason. But anyway, so I was in class, a Chinese class, and I was sitting there, and for some godforsaken reason I thought Vaporeon would look really hot as a person. And so I don't tell this story with any sense of pride, probably with thinly veiled shame, but I was right. I thought he'd have a little mohawk to represent the little fins around his face and his little fin up here, but also like coattails for the long mermaidy tail he'd have. But anyway, that's that. I don't want to talk about it. This was me testing out the Ohuhu markers for the first time, and I was testing it on a page which I'd painted pink and gold for absolutely no reason. But when I saw it, I thought, you know what this reminds me of? Tatooine. And hence I've drawn a little C-3PO. He's shiny. I had a really fun time with it. I enjoyed it a lot. I think he looks really cool, actually. This is a gouache landscape of something I saw on Pinterest. It's the second gouache drawing I've ever done. It's before my first one because I paint things out of order in my sketchbook, and that's just how I live my life. Some more poses. You'd think if I did so many pose practice and sketches I'd be good at drawing full body people, but you'd be incorrect. here is my first gouache painting. I tried to do a little window scene. It just looks abstract. It's still cool. The colors are really cool. But yeah, gouache test number 1. Here's where I was testing the colors. They're basically from a present I got from a friend. She got me a bunch of starting colors. Here they all are. They're pretty good. They're really good starting kit. But now I recently have gotten the Himi ones. You know, the jelly gouache that's all over art YouTube. It's already a mess and I haven't even had it for a week. But here it is in all its glory. Can attest that it's good. The YouTubers aren't lying to you. I used it recently for a piece and I found them really easy to use. Piece turned out pretty good in my humble opinion. And so yeah, they're fun. I've decided I really like gouache. I like that it dries matte. I normally paint with acrylics, which dry glossy because they're like plastic based. But yeah, have enjoyed it. We'll continue to use it and you'll see more of it in this sketchbook. Alright, here's the start of my Inktober dreams and the start of where it all went downhill. Just as a side note, if you see any shadows moving here, I'm filming in front of a window and my cat has recently entered the room and she's sitting in front of the window, so you can see her little tail swooshing. Oops, sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't bite me. But yeah, so that's what that is. Anyway, this was day 1 for Inktober. Oh, here she goes. I don't remember what I was saying. It's day 1 of Inktober. The prompt was ring, hence column. Pretty straightforward. This was a practice sketch. Once again, like I said, I like to do small versions of bigger pieces. This was a practice sketch I did of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat because a friend asked me to do a bigger piece. So I just did a small practice. I don't normally draw men. I don't normally draw men in these kinds of poses, so it was very difficult. Cried a couple of times in doing the final piece, but it turned out, so that's all that matters. It was a fully pencil piece. I don't know if I mentioned this, I probably didn't, but I primarily work in colored pencils. So a lot of the pieces that I show, if I don't specifically say that they're gouache or paint, they're probably colored pencil. Here's day 2, mindless. Day 3, bait. So I drew bait from Dragon Prince. If any of you guys watch Dragon Prince, I haven't seen the latest season. I'm very bad at being consistent with TV shows. Let me know if it's worth watching so I can actually get back into it and finish it. But there's that. I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons. So I'm just bad at consistency and commitment, so there's that. Day 4, Freeze. I actually think she turned out pretty cool. I initially hated her, but the more I look at her, the more I love her. Day 5 was Build. It's just a little fairy building her home. I don't actually like it that much, but you can tell I wasn't super inspired by it, by the lack of effort in comparison, but it is what it is. Here is just a sketch of my OC Scout. She is a vampire. She has a girlfriend. Her name is Shay. I love them. I can just never draw them consistently or properly, so they go through continuous redesigns. Here's some proportion practice. I still don't understand it, even though I practice it all the time. This was supposed to be for days 6 and 7. So day 6 was Husky. Day 7 was Enchanted, and I tried to combine them and then never finished it because I wasn't super inspired and I also couldn't figure out how I wanted it drawn. It was a thing. Oh well. This is just a guy I saw on Pinterest. I just needed to fill the page. I thought he looked cool. Another gouache painting. This was me planning what my YouTube channel would be and my banner and my logo and everything, and yeah, that went well. This was very early in this year, so we are now in, what is it, September? End of September, and only now am I doing something with it. So there's that. I don't know. This is Lux from League of Legends in a dark skin because a friend asked me if I could draw Lux and I liked this skin, and here we are. I thought she looked really cool. Here's some face practice just because it was really, the marker blurred through. Obviously this isn't a marker sketchbook, so I just took the opportunity to do some quick pen warm-ups here. I think some of them look pretty cute, so there's a win. This is Draw This in Your Style by Art. They do some really cool art on Instagram. Go check them out, but I think my version of their portrait turned out really well, so yay. This is an old drawing that I put here to cover up something that was on this page. I didn't like it, so I covered it up with an old tarot card I did that I thought looked pretty rad. I saw this picture of a dancer on Pinterest and I thought she looked like a mermaid, so here we are. More Scout, continuously not looking like the same character. There's a very rough sketch of her girlfriend. Oh well. This I actually filmed when I tried to do a YouTube channel and have it be a book YouTube channel. So be part of the booktube team. I basically made a video talking about this book series. That's the main character and various iterations of her in different poses, and I was just talking about the book as a voiceover, and then I put some of my favorite quotes all throughout. This is her cat. But yeah, so this was from that time. It wasn't a very good video. I don't think anyone saw it, but there's that. Then we've got some animal practice. Remember when I said I really liked Pokemon? I got cocky and thought I could draw them from memory. And vaguely, but look at this Glaceon, it's shameful. And vaguely, but not at all how I hoped. This is Todoroki. It was used for a digital piece I was gonna do. More Scout and Shay. This is just a little, I think it was an embroidery piece of a landscape I saw on Pinterest and really loved. This was just some notes on a Skillshare class I was watching. This was me, okay, this was me planning out some possible like art series ideas. Here's Pokemon as people again, which I still want to do. And then some Animal Girls, Myths and Legends. I wasn't super invested in that one. But I wanted to do an MMORPG classes series. So I wanted to do like a magician, a fighter, a rogue, and maybe a support character. I thought it looked super, super cool. I only got around to one character, and that one character took me ages to flesh out. You'll see in the coming pages. This was her first reiteration. This was the magician. Here are just some poses I did as a warm-up. Alright, here we go. So, basically, with this character, I wanted to mix a sci-fi but still have that kind of like fantasy element, but like the old fantasy, like wizards and robes and stuff. And I tried to mesh them together, and I did not get there. But her backstory is basically that an accident caused her to be filled with so much magical energy that it's like literally splitting her apart, and her mech suit is what really keeps her together and regulates the energy. If you can see, I googled how engine cooling systems work to make sure that her little suit, you'll see the back at some point later, made sense, and that it worked as a cooling system to stop her from blowing out from all the magical energy. But yeah, so here are her various character designs. The first one I tried to keep the witchy hat, a bit of a dress kind of thing going. You can see that here. But did not continue. This was the one I settled on. This part I know doesn't technically make sense, but I think it looks rad. So here we are. Here are some little cheek vents for the magical energy to flow out of. I had that her fingertips are always like stained green, like the magic. Here she is again. Here she is colored. I think she looks kind of cool. There's her little engine that connects to the front, her cooling system. Here I'm trying to show that her suit can make sense and failing, but oh well. Here she is again. This is what May from Overwatch, what her original character design looks like. I have the Overwatch art book. Super cool. Here's my magician lady again. Here's some Sailor Moon. This is, I scanned this and put it into a computer and did some line art and then turned into a finished piece. And that piece turned into a t-shirt that I think is super rad and super cool, and I wear it sometimes. It's my pride and joy. These are some brainstorms and a thumbnail of a portrait I did with pencil. I think she looks really cute. Here are, oh god, Simon Snow and Baz from Carry On. I love that book so much. I didn't enjoy the second book as much, but I love this book, especially the quote where it's like, "You're so alive, Simon Snow, you got my share of it." If I talked about it, it'd be spoilers, but oh my goodness. This is just a girl I saw on Pinterest. I tried to do a colored pencil drawing in this paper, but it was not built to take many layers of pencil, and up close you can tell it did not blend well. It's looking super rough. This is a planning sketch for a D&D piece I did for a friend who wanted me to draw his character. This so I was up at 2 a.m. one night on Pinterest, don't ask why, and I saw this photo, and because I was sleepy and not in my mind, I thought those tables and that floor, they were like big flowers floating in water, and I was so confused. But anyway, long story short, I drew what I actually thought that that photo was when I first squinted at it in a daze. This is someone's mom on Reddit, in the thread Reddit Gets Drawn. More poses. Here's some thumbnails for some landscape paintings I want to do, either digitally or with gouache, because I don't draw landscapes as much. There are more in this sketchbook than I've drawn in my entire life, basically. But I want to get into it because I think you can do a lot of cool things with them. Here are some more warm-ups, and then these two actually ended up in my 6 fan arts challenge, which I thought looked super rad. But yeah, those were done digitally, and I like how they came together. Here is my Dark Magician girl again. All Might for the 6 fan arts challenge. Cortana from Halo for the 6 fan arts challenge. This, I wanted to do a gouache portrait in here, but the paper's too thin and it kept like peeling up. Later, I discovered that if you put, this is not something I discovered, I know that if you put a layer of acrylic down, it actually helps you putting paint layers on top because you've got that barrier. Artist hacks. This is, well, I wanted to do a portrait of Jude from the Cruel Prince series. So I was like doodling possible angles and stuff for her and possible concepts for the drawing, and like thinking of quotes that fit that concept. So there's one where it's like, "Mortals are fragile. I say, not you," he says, "you never break." Which is ridiculous. As hurt as I am, I feel like a constellation of wounds held together with string and stubbornness, which is something that relatable content, but I thought I would convey. I haven't actually done this portrait yet. A theme you'll see is that I have a bunch of concepts and no execution, and that basically sums up my life as well. Here is a planning sketch for another pencil portrait I did. I think she turned out pretty fun. That's a self-portrait. Pretty stylized. I don't like drawing myself. I don't like looking at pictures of myself for too long, because then you like really start noticing some things, and it's not a good time for realizing things, basically. That's just a list of possible art collection things that I could do. Here is She-Ra, because I wanted to draw She-Ra. That is a little printout of the digital version of it. Here is an abstract piece. It's actually supposed to be vertical, but I'm not going to rotate my camera. It took me so long to try and set this up like this. But it's just a very abstract landscape I did late at one night because I wanted to paint and I wanted no pressure. And so, yeah, it's supposed to be like that. It's like an alleyway. I think it looks cool, even though you can't really tell what it is. The colors look really cool. Here's Sakura. Some sketches of her because I also wanted to do a digital piece of her. I used to hate her as a kid when I watched Naruto. And now I'm just kind of like, I'm chill with her. I think I've made my peace. But there are some character flaws that I still can't forgive. This is Katara. I love Katara. I love all the characters. I'm currently working on a digital fan art piece of Sokka. This is a plan I have for another mural in my room or my closet. It's the bathhouse from Spirited Away. I think it's going to look super rad. Here are some thumbnails I made when someone contacted me about a commission for like a spiritual priestess looking piece, and then never followed up, so that was cool. Here are some more plans of it. I thought they'd look super cool when executed, and yeah, then I never got around to doing the piece because the person who contacted me about it never messaged me back, so yay. This I love. It's a gouache piece. It is it's a draw this in your style that I did of my own volition of a friend of mine on Twitter. It's of their art. You can see it here. This is also their profile, just so I don't forget. Yeah, I did a redraw of it and I'm actually super proud of how it turned out. I love the colors. I enjoy it very much. And then this should be the end of the sketchbook. Yeah. This is a plan of the thank you cards I give out when I sell some art prints. I did them digitally. This is what they look like now. They're fun. And so I handwrite the message on the back and then send it away to whoever has ordered some art from me. And then the last page of my sketchbook is always like a swatches page and stuff like that, so it's never anything interesting or anything good looking. Oh, I just made a swatch chart for my gouache here. So nothing interesting. Normally I keep like spare bits of paper here for when I'm out and about. But yeah, nothing today. And this is the back of the sketchbook. Isn't it adorable? But yeah, that was the video overall. At the very least, I hope this was something chill to put in the background while you draw as well, or while you do anything else really. I enjoy watching these. I enjoy playing them in the background while I do other things, and I just wanted to make something like that with my stuff. So yeah, let me know what you think, either of the sketchbook, of anything I said in relation to any of the media I mentioned in here, like Pokemon or She-Ra or Dragon Prince or whatever. Leave me your thoughts, especially about the 3rd season of Dragon Prince if you've watched it. If you'd like me to do another video, I do have 2 more sketchbooks. They're older, so the art is possibly less good, but they're still a fun time to flick through and I enjoy flicking through them. So yeah, thanks team!